happy or whatever the issue is, that they would actually come into the house of God and take.
A Lexington church is picking up the pieces after a thief broke in overnight, but the person left something of theirs behind.
The Cincinnati Zoo is still defending their team's decision to shoot and kill a gorilla.
We've never had a situation like this before.
How the team prepares for this kind of situation.
Thieves are finding new ways to steal your credit card information, how to protect that information when you're using a self-checkout terminal.
This is WKYT News at 5:30.
Good evening. He says someone broke into the church overnight, but the thieves left something behind.
And tonight, the pastor of New Day Community Church says the thief broke a window and went into the sanctuary, stealing thousands of dollars worth of electronics. Sabira Rayford takes a look at the damage in our top story at 5:30.
I don't know which thing they took first, but if you look up at the balcony, you can see the soundboard is hanging off the edge.
Pastor Lucian Booker says New Day Community Church is supposed to be a safe haven for the community. But earlier this morning, the unthinkable happened.
The most heartbreaking thing for me is the fact that someone is in such a mental shape, or their life is in shambles, or unhappy or whatever the issue is, that they would actually come into the house of God and take.
Pastor Booker says they used this window to break in. But then they carried all of the stolen items right out of this front door.
They took tripods to the video cameras and the digital video cameras.
The church says this is going to be a setback for them, but they are encouraging the thieves to come forward and right a wrong.
I do believe that if the individual will come forth and really confess that he done these things, we are big enough to forgive the fault and actually go on. And so we're actually here just trying to help people's lives get better.
We'll go through the process and do what we need to do to recover. I mean, we're already in the process of trying to replace the window and things of that nature. So God knows. He always has a ram in the bush.
In Lexington, Sabir Rayford, WKYT.
Pastor Booker says the thief left behind a wallet on a chain. There was no ID in it, but there was a Progressive card with the name Alex on it.
Well, our muggy summer-like weather keeps rolling on tonight, but it's going to stop with the weekend, of course.
Yeah, and we're tracking a stormy, probably a wet weekend here in the Bluegrass. Meteorologist Jim Caldwell has an early look at the forecast. Jim?
Yeah, we're tracking some showers and a few thunder showers out there today, too, guys. But that's the key word there is few. Not a whole lot going on across Kentucky at this moment. You can see the clouds are a little bit thicker along Interstate 75, and then a little more moisture to our south with some of those rogue showers and thunder showers that have been showing up in that area. Now we're pretty quiet through most of Kentucky. You look at the one more intense, more impressive shower that we have along I-75 in Whitley County. Some of that moisture also creeping over into Knox County as well. Here in Lexington, you can see that we're at 83 degrees, humidity around 53%, which makes it just barely creep up as far as feels like conditions are concerned. Feels like 84 degrees here right now. In between showers and storms this weekend, it's going to be a whole lot like that. But once we get past the weekend, a very good looking week is coming. I'll track that week for you coming up in just a little bit.
We're learning new information tonight about the murder of two teenagers in Louisville. A detective testified today that 26-year-old Bryce Rhodes stabbed both 14-year-old Larry Ordway and 16-year-old Maurice Gordon last month because they had witnessed an earlier murder. Rhodes is also accused of shooting a 40-year-old man at the beginning of May. A judge waived the case to a grand jury today. Two other teenagers are also charged in the case.
A southeastern Kentucky man who admitted to killing a woman last year will spend decades in prison. Our county-by-county coverage at 5:30 begins in Harlan County. Last month, Christopher Hill told investigators he killed 26-year-old April Dean last August. Police later found Dean's body in a burned-out home. Today, Hill was sentenced to 50 years in prison on numerous charges, including murder. Another woman who is charged in the case, Melissa Brown, is scheduled to be back in court in November. In Hancock County, state police say they have identified a body found in western Kentucky to be that of a missing pilot. The coroner says that they have identified 70-year-old Robert Dalzell through dental records. He took off from the Grayson County Airport in a small plane on Monday. He was supposed to be flying to Owensboro, but never made it. Search crews found the plane wreckage and the body on Wednesday. Investigators are still trying to figure out what brought the plane down.
It's been nearly a week since Cincinnati Zoo employees shot and killed a 17-year-old gorilla after a little boy fell into the exhibit. Zoo officials say the gorilla dragged the boy around the exhibit. The zoo's director has said again and again killing the gorilla was the right decision, and it's one the zoo's dangerous animal response team was trained to do. Body targets at the Hamilton County Sheriff's shooting range show bullet holes. These same human outlines are what the zoo's dangerous animal response team practices with to take down animals.
They would be put through several drills where they would kneel, stand, sit, various poses from various different distances, 25, 50, 75 feet.
Mike Robinson says the sheriff's office doesn't train the team, but they do conduct the certification. The test is a pass-fail, and each person has to fire 25 rounds with an 80% accuracy.
In the fall, we usually set up 2 dates to where they can come out. There's 10, 12, 15 individuals that are part of this team to come out during those 2 days in the fall and go through the certification process where our range master would put them through those drills.
This Remington 870 shotgun is similar to what the team uses. The goal is always to stop the threat. In this case, the zoo decided the 400-pound male gorilla was the threat, and the boy was in a life-threatening situation.
We've never had a situation like this before at the zoo, but they meet and both do physical drills as well as meet to do sort of tabletop discussion drills, and they had done that as recently as last week. Which was them doing that in response to a similar situation that happened in a zoo in Chile.
At a news conference earlier this week, Zoo Director Thane Maynard talked about the decision to pull the trigger. It's a choice that's still sparking outrage, sadness, and concern. Prosecutors are expected to announce Monday whether or not charges will be brought against the family of the boy who climbed into the exhibit. They've been reviewing the results of a police investigation, but legal experts say charges are unlikely. The boy's family says he's doing well at home after being treated at the hospital. The zoo plans to reopen the gorilla exhibit Tuesday with added barriers. New tonight, an old mountaintop removal site in Bell County is a step closer to becoming a wildlife refuge. The Appalachian Wildlife Foundation is now leasing 12,000 acres of land from Asher Land to Mineral to create the refuge. The foundation's leaders say the Wildlife Center will attract more than 600,000 tourists each year, generating millions of dollars and jobs to the region. Work is expected to begin this summer.
Thieves use a small device called a skimmer to steal card information at the ATM. And it's something that is popping up here in Kentucky. Now, self-checkout terminals in retail stores are the latest target. At first glance, these shoppers using a self-checkout terminal inside a Kentucky Walmart hardly look suspicious. The man on the right shields his partner, who pulls a skimming device out of his jacket and pops it in place. The operation takes just 2 seconds. They made off with as much as $20,000 from at least 38 victims. ATM skimming has increased 546% from 2014 to 2015, with criminals now turning to self-checkout terminals to steal consumer data. At a Miami convenience store, as soon as a clerk turns around, a skimmer gets placed on top of a credit card scanner. Michael Sarametis is with the Secret Service.
They would download the information and put it on a duplicate card, and they're able to use it for any type of fraudulent purchases.
Matt Bretzias used an ATM inside an Atlantic City casino. The next morning, his bank told him his card was being used to shop in Canada.
It doesn't feel like it should be my responsibility to have to always test the security of where I'm taking my money from.
With the rollout of chip-enabled credit cards, skimming rates will decline. But as much as 30% of credit card holders have cards that don't have chips, and only about 20% of card terminals are compatible. So how can you protect yourself? Well, for one, the experts say cover the keypad when you enter your PIN code, because sometimes the thieves will be using micro cameras to capture that information.
Still ahead on WKYT News at 5. A beer garden is brewing a debate in Louisville. Why a church near the garden wants it gone.
I'm Bill Bryant. The new interim president of Kentucky State University says the future can be bright there. And an effort to reduce hunger across the state is now underway. The bottom line is on the way.
Stay connected to the news that matters to you, like WKYT on Facebook.
A season pass to Kentucky Kingdom is only $59.95. And with benefits like free parking and dollar drinks, a season pass pays for itself in just one visit. And enjoy the rest of the summer for free. Visit KentuckyKingdom.com or your local Kroger. 4 days left.
I roll my eyes like a lizard. A monkey would envy my tail. My wings want to fly but swim instead. I'm a fish with a horse's head. You can see me in all my glory. Touch me and learn my story. In a world of wonder you'll explore. I'm a seahorse and so much more.
Discover the zany world of seahorses at the most interactive seahorse exhibit in the country. Visit the brand new Seahorses Unbridled Fun and see, touch, explore together at Newport Aquarium.
I'm a seahorse and so much more.
All right, come on, everybody, it's time to go.
Getting more for your money is simpler than you might think. When you shop at Kroger, you get low prices throughout the store, weekly specials, great value from our quality brands, digital coupons, and even fuel points to help you save at the pump. No spin, just savings.
With low prices and weekly deals, saving is so easy at Kroger. Come in and cross more off your list for less. Just look for the tags and save. Great food, low prices at Kroger.
DQ funnel cake a la mode? Hold on. Coming through.
The next hours. Cloudy tomorrow.
Funnel cake has a new home. The DQ Bakes new funnel cake a la mode with the world-famous DQ soft serve and your favorite topping. This is fan food, not fast food.
Funnel cake a la mode. During the final week of Sleep Outfitters Memorial Day sale, we give you 3 great reasons to take home a Tempur-Pedic. 1. Find Tempur-Pedic queen sets on a Tempur-Up adjustable base for just $34 a month. 2. Receive a Visa prepaid gift card worth up to $400 with your select Tempur adjustable purchase. 3. Get up to 6 years no-interest financing on many Tempur-Pedic sets. It's 3 great reasons to buy Tempur-Pedic during the final days of our Memorial Day sale at Sleep Outfitters.
Flowers are important because they cheer people up, they make people feel better, they say sorry in a really easy way. And that's important to me because if someone's celebrating the birth of a baby or a graduation or some huge success, I get to be a part of that celebration. But every customer wants to be treated like you know them or like you are their friend. I promise, if you come in and get a bouquet from me, it will be fresh, colorful, made with care, and made with you in mind. Hi, I'm Amber, and I'm from the Portland Kroger.
America's most anticipated coaster. Storm Chaser, our 5th coaster, only at Kentucky Kingdom. Because all that really matters is the thrill.
Keep up with the latest news on WKYT.com. Join the conversation on Twitter and become a part of the WKYT Facebook family.
The interim president of Kentucky State University has big plans for the school's future.
And Kentucky's agriculture commissioner is tackling the hunger problem in this state. Bill Bryant has details in the bottom line.
Good evening. The interim president of Kentucky State University says the school has tremendous potential and can have a bright future. Dr. Aaron Thompson took over the Frankfort School this week after the sudden resignation of Raymond Burse. Thompson says he has spent long hours the last few days taking stock of where things stand. He says KSU is ripe for growth and a major turnaround.
What I'd like to see over the next 5 years, that we would move back to somewhere between 2,700 and 3,000. Now that's a tall order because it looks as if we're going to try to double the enrollment. Well, we are. But we're going to double the enrollment from the standpoint of a very strategic process. We're not just looking to double the enrollment of any student that wants to come. We want to double enrollment of students that want to choose Kentucky State as their first choice.
Thompson says he has not decided whether he will seek the KSU presidency on a permanent basis, but he says he will function as if he's going to be there long term. We also have an expert from UK discussing ways to keep mosquitoes away from your place and efforts to lessen the potential spread of Zika. Kentucky Newsmakers airs in its entirety Sunday morning at 6 on WKYT. It repeats Sunday at 10 a.m. on the CW Lexington. Set your DVR or catch it then. Agriculture Commissioner Ryan Quarles is beginning an initiative to address hunger in Kentucky. Quarles announced a hunger task force and said they will be charged with finding out more about how bad the problem is and finding ways to address it. The task force includes farmers and business leaders, as well as representatives from the faith community. And Governor Matt Bevin today spoke at a luncheon for Commerce Lexington. He encouraged Kentucky businesses to do business with each other. He said that's an important factor in growing the state's economy. Bevin also talked about funding for the convention center downtown. He said a strong Lexington is good for Kentucky. Bill Bryant, WKYT.
A debate brewing over a new beer garden in Louisville. The city's latest resurfaced location opened to the public this week.
People there can enjoy music, entertainment, food and drinks at the corner of East Liberty and South Shelby Street. Right across the street from the beer garden is a church, and members there say they work with addicts and hold recovery meetings 3 times a week.
You know, if it's 2 blocks away, you can go by a different path. If it's 3 blocks away, you can go the back way. But if it's right across the street, there's no way to avoid it.
Organizers for Resurfaced say it's more than a beer garden. She says it's about community gatherings, celebration, and local food. Organizers say no one will be able to leave the site with alcohol.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Jim Caldwell.
Few of us have been tracking a shower or two. Even a few thunderstorms have been popping up across parts of southern and eastern Kentucky, but generally it's all about the heat and humidity again. As you see right now across central and eastern Kentucky, we're running in the upper 70s, low 80s, even some mid 80s have been showing up out there as well. And when you throw in the humidity and you start talking about the heat index, it feels more like 84 or 85 here in Lexington, and then other locations it probably bumps you up a degree or 2. Tracking a little bit of rain still down across parts of Whitley County, and notice this is a stretch. This is the last little bit of that particular shower, and what once was an actual thunder shower just north of Williamsburg, and some of that moisture is even creeping over in and around the Barberville area into Knox County. But that's it. Most of the rest of areas that we've been watching are fine. We look to the severe weather threat, though, into tomorrow, and it's the lowest level of the categories. You can see them all kind of showing up right here, marginal, slight, and Hanson through the rest of them, but we're in the lowest category. And what this means is essentially when we get into the peak heating during the afternoon and evening tomorrow, I think an isolated shower thunderstorm that goes up could have strong winds in excess of about 60 miles per hour and the possibility of some large hail with anything that goes up. Again, mainly isolated and heavy rainmakers as well. There's a lot of moisture hanging out in the air to feed the thunderstorms. Could be tracking a few of those early on your Saturday morning. We go beyond that and it gets a little more active around noon and into the afternoon and evening. You can see more widespread chances of showers and storms. That would be the time period. If anything went severe, that would be the time period that it does so. If you get caught under a shower or thunderstorm, naturally a little bit cooler for you. We're at Saturday night now, going into Sunday morning. Here comes another push of moisture around 8 o'clock. You can see the showers are starting to fill in again. What we have is a front that is trying its best to push through and clean up the atmosphere, because once the front gets out of here, we are going to watch things change quite a bit. Got the humid air here right now. This front is a cleansing front. It takes all the humid air and just pushes it away, at least for a little while. Not only does it do that, we'll see our temperatures change as well. They'll probably fall highs anywhere between 5 and 15 degrees, and those humidity levels will dip a lot into a more comfortable level. Here's what we've got with our 7-day forecast, tracking those showers and thunderstorms into Saturday, Sunday, and then we get into the good stuff, guys, once we get through the weekend. Unfortunately, it's not going to be a great weekend to be out and about, but we can make the best of it in between.
We'll do the best we can. But like you said, next week looking really nice for a number of days straight.
That's right. It's worth going through a little wet weekend to get where we're going next week, guys.
I agree.
Okay.
Thanks, Jim.
Well, looks like we've cleared the 2 crashes that were in the way. The one at Richmond Road just past Lakeshore has been cleared and wide open now on Loudon Avenue. That leaves us okay on our drive times with slowdowns still to Nicholasville, but holding about 15 minutes or so to get there. Versailles Road past the county line, we're doing okay so far. Now back to you in the studio.
The World Series trophy is here in Lexington.
It was won by the Royals, the parent club of the Lexington Legends. I tell you, it is something to see. And the expectations are sky high for the UK track team getting ready to head to the Nationals out in Eugene, Oregon. The Cats talk about it all next in sports.
Honey, did you order a walking Norman Rockwell painting?
Hey, little sister.
Garrett? Oh my God.
The Silver Bells killer committed 6 murders.
We are not a family of psychopaths.
If you've been injured on the job, do yourself and your family a favor. Visit forthepeople.com to learn about all of your legal rights. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Here's a fun way to control your luck. It's a game called Keno. You can start with $1. You pick your numbers, your odds, and your wager. And the winnings, well, they could be major. Just pick your numbers and hope you win. A few minutes later, you can play it again. Now play Keno wherever Kentucky lottery games are sold.
Do you want to lose weight quickly and safely? Do you want to be healthy for a lifetime? Kim did and lost 238 pounds at Ageless Medical Weight Loss. Betty did and lost 135 pounds. The Ageless program is a medically supervised, affordable weight loss solution. Call today for a free consultation.
All right, come on, everybody. It's time to go.
Getting more for your money is simpler than you might think. When you shop at Kroger, you get low prices throughout the store, weekly specials, great value from our quality brands, digital coupons, and even fuel points to help you save at the pump. No spin, just savings.
With low prices and weekly deals, saving is so easy at Kroger. Come in and cross more off your list for less. Just look for the tags and save. Great food, low prices at Kroger.
I used to feel anxious and confused about buying a major appliance. Turns out she suffered from FOBO. Until I found H.H. Gregg. Then my fear of not getting the best price, it just disappeared. That's what we do.
Get all the options you want during H.H. Gregg's Memorial Day sale. Up to 35% off store-wide, plus 0 interest until 2019. And free delivery, all with our low price guarantee. H.H. Gregg. Gregg's got it.
A season pass to Kentucky Kingdom is only $59.95. And with benefits like free parking and dollar drinks, a season pass pays for itself in just one visit. And enjoy the rest of the summer for free. Stop by your local Kroger to get yours today. But hurry, offer ends June 7th at midnight.
Save on Purdue chicken drumsticks or thighs, 69 cents a pound. And Southern yellow peaches are just 99 cents a pound. Fresh food, low prices at Kroger.
I had just gotten out of high school. My father had passed away, and I kind of decided then that I wanted to be in the medical field. And one of my friends attended Spencerian that I worked with. I was working 2 jobs at the time. I work with 7 other people in the laboratory that have actually graduated from Spencerian. I think it all comes back to the fact that all the instructors here have that experience and they prepare us so well. Things can change for the better, and Spencerian College will help that change.
There are multiple reports now that the condition of boxing great Muhammad Ali may be more serious than was first reported Thursday. Ali is fighting a respiratory ailment in a Phoenix hospital. His condition complicated by the fact that he suffers from Parkinson's. Ali was reported in fair condition yesterday. There was no update on his condition today. Ali has suffered from Parkinson's for almost 3 decades. It is one of the most iconic trophies in American sports, and today the 2015 World Series trophy is right here in Lexington. The Commissioner's Trophy is awarded each year to baseball's champion, but has only been around since 1967. The Royals have 2 of them, 1985 and 2015. Kurt Nelson is the director of the Royals Hall of Fame. He enjoys seeing the fans' reaction when they see the trophy.
You know, we went through the Kansas, Missouri, Nebraska, Iowa, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and now moving around to our minor league affiliates. We've seen thousands of fans, and we think every single one of them had a part in it. It's theirs as well. So it's very much fun to be able to take it around and see people's reaction to it.
In only 4 years, UK track coach Edric Florial has done what many thought may have been impossible, built the UK track program into a national power. Next week, 23 Wildcats will be competing at the NCAA Outdoor Championships in Eugene, Oregon. At one point this season, Florial's women's team was ranked #1 in the country. 17 women will head west to compete for All-American status and national titles, including long jumper Shaquila Saunders. She was the NCAA runner-up 2 years ago.
Well, as a team, we have high expectations of Coach Florial. We can't really set anything below that. The team is very excited for this weekend. The pressure is not on us. They're very young, and we've been preparing for this. We went through indoor, and they know what's expected to get to nationals now.
Right now is the feel-good thing, just trying to get everybody in the right place, in the right frame of mind. They already have enough pressure on them just with the rankings and kind of the whole university have an expectation. Their parents, mom, dad, boyfriend, girlfriend, everybody wants them to do well. So right now I'm just trying to keep it low-key and that they could stay focused on the task at hand, which is just train, stay healthy, and enjoy the process.
And receiver Randall Cobb says he will never again wear a wireless microphone while playing. Cobb was hurt in a playoffs loss to the Cardinals back in January when he landed on his back while trying to make a catch here. Cobb believes the NFL film's mic that he wore caused his punctured lung. What kind of player does Alex Poitras see himself as being at the next level? We'll have that coming up in the next half hour. Stay with us. There's much more at 6 here on WKYT.